Well, fuck it. What are we doing? Touching tips. Welcome back.
What's up, guys?
Brandon's got headphones on today. We're a step ahead. Episode what? 27?
26.
26.
Yep.
Really plugging along here.
Yeah. This is pretty much the last good year of my life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably how old I was when I moved back to New England. So
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. We're starting the episode off strong. We were talking about Tyson and Jake Paul already off the cuff. So
I was talking. I didn't watch the fight, and it's because I have seen this story before. I don't understand why everyone seems to think that like Mike Tyson has been good at boxing in like the last 30 years. It just hasn't happened. Like I don't know. Like, do I think the fight was rigged? Actually, I'll start with that. Like, the fight was obviously rigged in the sense where I think they probably had some sort of arrangement where it was like, hey, you know, it's a boxing match. Anybody gets caught once by a dude who fucking weighs as much as Tyson could get knocked the fuck out. So it was probably rigged in the sense where the Paul camp was just like, you're not coming for my head. Like, so don't try to even like fucking, you know, lay me out. But I think Paul obviously like is a much better boxer at this stage of his career than Mike Tyson is because he's 27 and not 58, and you know, a fucking whack job.
I just think that leaves a lot of conspiracies to be had.
I mean, I don't think there's any.
Was it a pay job? Did Mike Tyson just take the 20 mil? Well, if that's the thing, then I don't want to hear people saying like, "Oh, Mike looks soft," or you know, obviously you shouldn't be fighting guys that young. Like if it was just a paid thing, then Tyson didn't fully engage.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think technically this was a professional fight. Like I think that counts as a loss on Mike Tyson's record and a win on Jake Paul's record.
Yeah.
So I mean, technically speaking, I think that was a sanctioned like fight.
I mean, regardless, man, I just don't think
it doesn't matter. And also, like, here's the thing: like the people who like want to come out and be like, even leading up to it, I knew fucking Jake Paul was going to win this fight because you know, there's too much money in Jake Paul winning that fight to have it come to any other conclusion than that. Like he loses to Tyson, like his little cash cow thing is over. Nobody's going to fucking come out and watch any more fights that this fucking guy's in.
I think this might be it anyway, but
I think he can still milk it as long as he's not people. It's the Floyd Mayweather effect. Floyd Mayweather.
That's who he's going to have to fight next.
Yeah, fine. Then that might actually come to a head. That probably won't be who he fights next because Floyd Mayweather's probably 2 more years away from having to fight Jake Paul or whatever.
He's got a lot more reckless spending.
Well, exactly. He has to get into a situation where he has to accept terms that he's not comfortable with because it's going to be that's what Jake Paul's doing. He's only taking fights that he knows he can win, and he knows he's fighting guys who need the money bad enough to lay down to him. You know. So I mean, Mayweather was the same thing. You know. But
I mean, what is Mike Tyson up to that he needs the money bad enough?
I mean, I think he's broke again.
How is that possible? I
Dude,
feel like
everybody,
he's just a crazy person.
Well, I think you forget just how many fucking hands were in his pockets. Well, first of all, like his entire professional career, he got fucking swindled by Don King. Like the promoter, remember him?
I know he went broke before, but I feel like he had come back. He had like a weed business and shit. He was doing well off the Mike Tyson.
Yeah, but
I remember
you know how it works, man. There's always somebody in the background that's probably funneling money into something that like Mike Tyson doesn't know about, and you know he doesn't strike me as a very smart businessman. You know, so it's all about who you have in your camp. So he was broke again. This got him his $20 million. Hopefully that'll last him for the rest of his life. You know, but we'll see.
But he'd be saying some suspect stuff.
What do you mean?
Mike Tyson. Like, I had him in my top 3 for like a long time of people who I would be like really excited to meet.
Yeah.
Still at this point in my life being like bitter. You know what I mean? And full of hate and anger. Like, there's few things that would move the needle enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like it was for a long time. It was like Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, and 50 Cent. Like those were like the 3 guys that I would be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Barring all like Patriots related stuff, of course.
Like if Tom Brady.
Or like Gronk or Jules or something like that. But I mean, I met Gronk and I didn't go like fanboys piss my pants. Like I was still professional. I said thank you and that was it, you know? Like but yeah, I don't know. I just see I've seen more and more stuff of Mike Tyson be saying some suspect stuff all the time.
I mean, first of all,
like he said some shit where he's like talking to a reporter and he's like, "I'll fuck you till you love me, faggot," or some shit like that. Like he says some wild stuff. Like he might be on the Diddy list.
I mean, for starters, he's a convicted rapist. I feel like a lot of people forget that about him.
Like, on a girl, though.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, though, like, he went to jail for 4 years.
I can see,
like,
well, a boxer raped a woman? Okay, that lines up with this Viking mentality shit.
Yeah.
But if you tell me a fucking Viking has some suspect gay stuff going on, then I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Well, hold on. So you're telling me that it's worse that if he's raping guys than raping women? Well, like, he's a rapist. Like, let's not split hairs here,
Yeah, but you're also gay.
All right, whatever. I'm just saying, though, like, I mean, basically, the genesis of my entire thing was this whole Jake Paul fight was...
Bro, are you more surprised that Mike Tyson is a rapist, or are you more surprised that Mike Tyson is gay? You know what I mean?
First of all, neither one of them would surprise me. But I'm just saying, like, the obviously more abhorrent thing is that he's a rapist.
No.
Like...
I don't know what that word means that you just said. So.
I'm just saying, like, he's fucking, being a rapist you're a piece of shit,
Yeah.
I love Mike Tyson as a boxer, and nobody has more empathy for Mike Tyson than I do. Like, the guy spent his entire life being fucking basically taken advantage of by the people around him, Like, and also he was a troubled youth who fucking came up in, the fucking tough part of fucking New York City, and, like, he's a product of his environment, So, I mean, I have empathy, but at the end of the day, the dude fucking is a rapist, and also a fucking whack job. So to have, like, all of these public people who are, like, still, like, in the Mike Tyson camp, like, I just don't really get it.
You don't think that there's any, like, Menendez brother effect on the whole rapist thing?
What do you mean?
We're kind of like, for our whole lives, we've been made to think, like, oh, they just killed their parents. They're crazy kids. They fucking listen to Marilyn Manson or some shit.
Well, no, I think
really, like, they fucking lashed out in a crime of revenge, if you will.
Yeah,
right?
no, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, like, all I'm really saying is that Mike Tyson was put in a situation where he was fucking made to be like a caged animal, and then when he became a caged animal, people were like, oh my God, I can't believe he raped that poor girl. It's like, of course he did.
Did he rape that girl, or did he just get that girl mad and she said that and she ruined his life?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he was probably raping her. Yeah, like...
No, I don't know. Well, I'm gonna have to read up on this.
Anyway, my point being, though, is that I didn't fall for the Jake Paul shit. I didn't watch that fight, and the reason being is because I've seen this all play out before with Mike Tyson. Everyone wants to continuously be like, "Oh, he's the fucking best. He's the best. He's the greatest. He's a fucking animal." Like, how many good fights has Mike Tyson actually been in? Like, all those years ago, everyone wants to harken back to this golden era of Mike Tyson, like. It was maybe 86 to 91. That was Mike Tyson's period of time. After that, he went to jail, and then he came back. He fought like a few tomato cans and knocked him out in the first round. Everyone was pissed off, if you remember. Like, back in that day, like, I'm old enough to remember, like, when Mike Tyson came out of prison and was fucking killing people, like, just in the ring, nobody was happy with that shit. Everyone was paying $120 for a fucking pay-per-view event that was over in, like, 96 seconds, Nobody was happy with the Mike Tyson fights then. So it's like, now here we are 30 years later, and they're still surprised that the fucking guy that the fight scene sucks. It's like, I'm done pretending like Mike Tyson, like, is a draw that I'm interested in watching. It's the same thing. Do you remember, like, I think it was I think I was like a senior in high school, maybe, or it was like in the early 2000s. He fought Lennox Lewis, right? That was actually the lead up after Evander Holyfield, like after he lost twice. Do you follow boxing at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he gets out of prison in like 90, whatever it is, 94, 95 or something. He fights a bunch of tomato cans, beats the fuck out of them, and it's to set up the Holyfield fights, right? To which he basically just gets his ass beat in both of them because he's not very good at boxing at that point in time. And after that, he has another like 4-year lull where he's just fighting tomato cans and nothing else. And then he gets another shot against Lennox Lewis. And everybody buys this fight. And everybody's like, Mike Tyson's going to fuck Lennox Lewis up, blah, blah, blah. He's coming back. He's knocking people out again. It's like, this is the easiest money you could ever make. Bet your fucking house on Lennox Lewis. He's going to beat the shit out of Mike Tyson. And what happens? He beats the shit out of Mike Tyson. It's like...
it was a long fight, if I remember.
It was like 8 rounds. But he still knocked him out.
A Mike Tyson fight. Right?
That's true. Well, that's another point, too, is like everybody was like, oh, I can't believe how gassed Tyson is after the 3rd round. It's like, fucking go back and look at his fights, man. Any fight that lasted longer than 8 rounds before that, like, there was a good chance of him losing that fight. The fucking Buster Douglas fight in 90, I want to say. That was like his first loss, was Buster Douglas.
Yeah.
And the guy fucking won only because he was able to get Tyson out of like the 10th round. So that was it, Once you got to a fucking double digits with Mike Tyson, it was anybody's guess who was winning that fight. You know,
like I just feel like the bigger Tyson got, the less he's able to like control himself.
Yeah, well,
you know, like whoever was like his trainer in the first part of his career that was able to like harness and funnel.
Yeah, well, that was like I can't remember the dude's name, but he was like his mentor basically. He like lived with him.
He died, right?
Yeah, he died. So it was
that's like basically like his father dying.
Exactly.
And I feel like it's like you have Tyson before that and you have Tyson after that.
Yeah,
and it's like the discipline, the whatever, just discipline, I guess, pretty much. Like you lose that as that father figure goes.
Yeah. So. I mean, if you want to talk about Mike Tyson's, like I said, the last time Mike Tyson was at peak fighting condition where he was like going into the ring as like I can beat anyone in the world, you're talking 1991. It's fucking 30 years ago. Like over 30 years ago.
Yeah, but it's like anybody in the world that's actually boxing. It's like I feel like most of us just think Jake Paul is just, you know, an actor, boxer.
Oh, he's a chump.
So
he's a chump, but he's 27 years old on steroids. Like, you know, who's been training.
It's a sanctioned match. He's not on steroids because they would have had to pass drug tests. So
I bet you he still got away with it.
He's on some new shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I'm just saying, the fucking kid is he's not a professional boxer. He's just 27 years old. Mike Tyson's 58.
I just feel like I've never seen any old man boxing.
Yeah.
That's been like worth the time, the pay-per-view, any of it. You know what I mean? It's all just like, I don't know. It's the Roman circus. You know what I mean? It's just a distraction to.
Well, so when I was watching boxing, like the peak of me watching boxing was like probably in like the late 90s, mid 2000s or whatever. The reason that Mike Tyson, I feel like, got all of his comeuppance is just because he was the only halfway decent heavyweight boxer. Like everybody else sucked. Like he started his career basically beating Spinks, which, I mean, that was the end of Spinks' career, so that wasn't really all that impressive. And other than that, it was just Mike Tyson going out and knocking people the fuck out, like just rando guys, because the heavyweight division was decimated. Back then, though, like the middleweights and like the welterweights and like the fucking lower weight divisions, that's where all the talent was. You had fucking in the 80s, like Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, you had fucking Marvin Hagler in the fucking 90s, you had, De La Hoya, you had fucking Arturo Gatti was one of my favorite boxers. He was the fucking guy that you remember the Mickey Ward Gotti fights? You know who Mickey Ward is?
Yeah, but I know Gotti, Arturo Gotti. I feel like he has like, is he dead? He has some
he's
kind
dead.
of like legendary death. Like he got killed.
His wife probably killed him.
Oh yeah, he's that guy.
Yeah. He was my favorite boxer though, Arturo Thunder Gotti.
Yeah.
But that was the thing though. Back then though, like those guys weren't afraid to lose. That's why Gotti was my favorite fighter. He'd fucking take any fight, and he fucking lost like a bunch of fights. He wasn't like a championship boxer, but every fight he was in, he was just like, I'm here to fucking knock you out or get knocked out. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, that was why
that's my kind of guy,
dude. Have you ever watched the Ward Gotti fights? Like,
I mean, I'm sure I have. I don't know fucking these guys. I don't have like the name recognition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if somebody had the pay-per-view going on, I would sit down and watch it, but I'd be like, I don't know these fucking guys, but they're beating the shit out of each other, and this is great.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
well, Google the Ward Gotti fights. They're like the best boxing matches ever. It's like it was a trilogy. And that's the thing, too. It was a trilogy of, like, both guys were relatively, not unknowns, but they were, like, not top-tier championship-level boxing. They were kind of like, they were always contenders. They were always guys that, like, were on the undercards and shit. But both three fights, they just came in there toe-to-toe, and they were just like, we're not leaving until one of us is in a hospital. It was fucking awesome. And actually, both of them, they ended up becoming, like really close, good friends because they both like went to the hospital after their first fight with each other and were like in the like beds right next to each other.
Yeah.
And they bonded. They became lifelong friends after that. It was awesome. But yeah, that's just like where the more interesting boxers were. Like
I mean, I think that tends. I think you gain a great amount of respect for somebody when you try to kill them for fucking, what I mean?
For 12 fucking rounds.
And like,
yeah. No, I mean, anybody out there who hasn't seen Ward Gotti fights, watch all of them. They're fucking awesome. And yeah. Do you remember the movie The Fighter? Like it was Mark Wahlberg?
I never watched it.
Okay.
That
was about Mickey Ward, basically. Like, and his brother, Dickie Eklund.
Yeah, like that was at about the point where I felt like Mark Wahlberg was at the on top of my world. Like he could do no wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like in The Departed.
Yeah.
He was loving on the Patriots and the Red Sox and shit like that. You know what I mean? I don't know why I never watched.
I mean, it's worth a watch. It's a great movie.
I think it happened before the Atlanta Super Bowl, right? Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
stopped riding the Mark Wahlberg
Once he
train.
left?
Yeah, when it becomes apparent that he like left, when
Yeah.
he leaves at halftime and he stopped believing, I said, Mark Wahlberg has got to
Dead to
go.
me, Marky Mark.
He's got to go. He's not part of like the Boston Mount Rushmore fan base anymore.
Yeah.
You know? You know what that leads me into too? I just started thinking about Boston like Mount Rushmore fan base, and like Ben Affleck is another one of them. And I've probably talked about this before.
Yeah.
But Ben Affleck has like
Why are you saying it like that? Affleck? Seems Affleck. Affleck?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You think I know how to say this fucking guy's last name? Think I fucking write it out in cursive or some shit? Like
Just say it. It's just,
Affleck.
Affleck.
I
Ben
think
Affleck.
we're fucking tomatoes here.
I mean, it's an E in there. No.
This does
continue.
All right. I might not even know what I was talking. All right, so this guy's like a lifelong Red Sox fan, right? He has all his boys has to be Red Sox fans, right? They wrote Good Will Hunting,
Yeah.
right? They're hanging out in the slums of Boston, right?
Yeah.
So like, I feel like anytime any of Ben Affleck's friends want to like talk shit to him, they could just be like, "Yo, remember when Aroyd fucked your wife?"
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Like,
yeah.
how could that ever fly? Like, I just don't understand. Like, I feel like if you're that big of like a public Red Sox fan, like you can't be Eskimo brothers with like the Yankees clubhouse,
Yeah, shit. I didn't even think of
right?
that.
Like that's brutal.
yeah.
That's brutal. And P Diddy, holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he had to get that divorce. He was like, "Yo, bitch,
Are they
gots to
divorced
go."
again?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Well, did they get divorced twice, or did they even get married the first time?
I
think they're yeah, whatever. I'm not much of a pop culture
Taco
guy.
flavored kisses.
Yo,
Yo,
that's a
one of
good
the-
episode.
One of the best memes I feel like the early meme game is like Ben Affleck smoking that cigarette.
Yes, yeah,
He was just like-
outside. Yeah, it was very like server bartender
Yes.
like in the
yeah.
after the rush. Yeah, I've been
Like,
that
when
guy.
when the server's ringing the food, you just told him was 86.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah. No, I've had that exact expression on my face many a nights at like 9:30 on a fucking Thursday.
didn't you talked about working at a bar where they were smoking inside?
Yeah.
Did you ever do that?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
just-
my
just
first-
do, like grabbing a little smoke from the guests
From the
every
ashtray.
now and then.
I wasn't that. I would literally, they allowed me to just have a cigarette going in the ashtray.
Yeah.
So I would just have a cigarette going. I would rip a couple, fucking drags, then go make a couple drinks, come back to it. Yeah.
Yeah. That was such
That was
like
my first bartending job, though. So that dates me a bit. That was 20 years ago now.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of my first. It is my first bartending job, but they had like an outside bar. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Sometimes they'd have
Well, you were in Florida. So I bet you
Yeah.
they held on probably for like another 12 years.
for smoking.
Yeah. Like mine was in Mass. So like I started bartending
Yeah.
in, what was that, like October of 03, and they outlawed smoking in restaurants like I want to say April or May of 04. So it was like the first like 8 months of me working. Like I was able to smoke at the
I
bar.
mean, I feel like we're talking about the year like for me probably like 2000 and no, you know what? I always remember stuff by what's going on with the Patriots. Because I remember I worked.
Of course, that's how everyone tells time. I
I-
think actually the Mayans did the same
Yes,
thing.
I
Yeah.
did. That's why the calendar is cyclical and Tom Brady's going to come back.
Yeah. Well, that's why the calendar's over.
It's a game. Tom Brady loses in Denver. What is that? 2005, the playoffs.
Oh, is that the Jake Plummer year?
I don't know who plays. He throws Brady throws. I think he gets picked off by Champ
Yeah,
Bailey.
I remember that.
in Denver, if I'm not mistaken.
I remember that because my mentally unstable roommate at the time punched a hole in our fucking door, and it was like, you have to pay to get that fixed. Yeah.
Dude, I was mentally unstable around this time in my life, and
Yeah.
punching holes in doors, oof,
Yeah.
especially interior doors, that just fucking kind of fold.
Yeah.
Make you feel like a man.
it did, apparently.
Very little damage to your knuckles and such.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm working at this place around that time, 2004, 2005. And like you're saying, the smoking ban hadn't gone into effect no matter where you are.
Yeah.
You know, and you just be, people be, I just think it brought it was like a whole other thing. Like a customer would like try to bait you into like having a shot with them.
Yeah.
They'd be like, hey man, you want to have a
Have a
cigarette?
pull up my cigarette. Yeah.
No, not a pull of this. Like I would do that if I
Yeah.
had been drinking.
Yeah.
But somebody would just be like, they would light up. And a lot of times I'd be on this bar and there'd be like there'd be like a wedding back there or something.
Yeah.
A wedding reception. And so, people would be lighting up. They'd be like, you need a smoke? And you'd be like, oh, I'll have a butt. And like, you're not supposed to be doing that, but the ashtray's right there. You just leave it sitting there,
Yeah. there you go.
You're like, that's not mine. If anybody comes up. But this is like the joint where like the manager like he eventually like fights somebody out front. I think we talked about that.
And they're breaking your balls about smoking?
Well, this is like obviously he didn't work there for much longer after he fought the guest out front. It was the guest out front's problem. And Brian told him that he didn't want this, and then the guest insisted that he wanted it, and
then he got to say, "I told you so."
Yeah, this is the guy that like joined the military late and was like doing the Lord's work.
Yeah,
you know. But we used to be fucking like ripping lines in the walk-in, taking shots of Grand Marnier together and shit.
So this guy did some fucking Krav Maga and just fucking broke the dude's arm or some shit.
I didn't see. It was like a belligerent guy that like came at him, and he did do some like defensive stuff, and the guy, his face was all bloody after that.
Yeah, well, that's.
And I was like,
you fuck around, you find out sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was that place. That was a cool place to work at.
Now the only physical altercation I had at the place that I used to be able to smoke butts at was the Pats fan who knocked out his girlfriend or wife or whatever. Did I tell you that one?
Yeah,
I think I did. Yeah.
Gave him the old Dana White.
Yeah. Oh fuck! Did he? I'm like terrible with this shit. Did he fuck up his wife or something?
He's like on camera, like slapping her, like they're
really?
like drunkenly hitting each other, and they like had like a public apology about like no.
Oh Jesus!
She's one of the boys sometimes.
Yeah. Gotta just fucking hit her upside the head every now and again.
Man, you know who I came across, and he said that he went into the spot, and none of this has been relayed to me.
Yeah.
Is my boy.
Yeah, Matt Murph.
Yeah. You've seen him lately?
Yeah.
At the old spot?
Yeah, he came through with some girl a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, he kind of pissed me off.
First of all, let's talk about how he pissed you off.
Yeah.
But before that, this kid is like the whisperer of like just insane women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she seemed kind of nutty. But,
yeah.
Yeah. But on top of that, though, they show up at like 10:15, like on a fucking Saturday. It's like, motherfucker, I'm trying to close. Like, get out of here. You know? And they were like a 3-course meal. It's like, have some etiquette, man. Where are you working? Because I'm showing up 10 minutes before you fucking close next time.
He works at one of your biggest competitors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whatever. I don't have any competitors because I don't give a shit.
And also, I found out he works at another spot in Attleboro. We could show up and break his balls there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We should
do it on an off day.
Let's sit in his section, fucking stay there until 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. No, he's a good kid, though. He's funny.
I was happy to see him.
Yeah. Where'd you see him?
He came into my spot to see me for a little lunch.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he bought a house. Congratulations to Matt Murphy.
Yay.
Big boy steps.
Good for him.
Yeah. So he came in. He had a little chicken salt and boca.
Yeah.
Reminded me of a funny line that I'm gonna use from now on because I was breaking his balls like he was getting linguine, and I was like, "Fucking linguine, dude! Like penne is the superior pasta for this for this option." And he just looked at me and said, "Penne is for children." And I don't know why I like that so much.
Linguine is for your house. Like nobody wants to be like seen like slurping up spaghetti in the fucking in public.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Actually,
I'm never going to pick linguine over penne. It's just never going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's just to me, it's just you look stupid like fucking eating linguine. But this actually brings up another point I wanted to bring up. I went to New Hampshire over the weekend and whatever. It was a good time, but we went out to eat like at a couple different spots, one of which was an Italian restaurant that everybody swore by. Like everybody was like, you got to try this place. It's incredible. And I ate it, and it's like every other goddamn Italian restaurant I've ever gone to, where at the end of it, I'm just like, I don't know, man, I guess that was okay. Like, Italian food sucks. I'll just come out and say it. It does. Like, it doesn't, like, I wouldn't put it in the top 10 of, like, ethnic cuisines. Like, it's just whatever. Like, how many times can you have you ever had a fucking eggplant parm that changed your life? It's like the same shit everywhere you go.
I don't understand the eggplant parm because to me it's just mush.
Yeah, well,
like I don't need a tempura squash.
Yeah, well that too, but it's just
I'll fuck with a chicken parm, like a chicken parm over pink penne at the Village Tavern.
Yeah, but like what's
fucking fire? But that's not the special about it. It's just fucking pasta
it's just
and
chicken
tomato
parm,
sauce
yeah,
and fried chicken.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like how I've never had an F at an Italian restaurant. I've never had an F. But I've never had like a B+ either. It's just always like C+ food. It's just like I eat it and I'm like, yeah, that's chicken parm, like, or whatever. There's a fucking whole list of like every single thing on there is just like veal, chicken, some sort of seafood, throw it over pasta. Is it red sauce? Is it white sauce? That's it. That's all it is. That's all the entire fucking nation of cuisine. And people want to front like Italian food's like so good. It's like, it's just not. It's not like I would eat so many different foods before I would eat Italian food. Like if there were like a strip, like an entire row of just every nationality's restaurant, like, I mean, I don't even know if I would ever make it to the Italian food, like Italian restaurant. Like it's not that good. And it's not diverse at all. So fuck Italian food.
Your grandfather would be very disappointed to hear this.
Oh, my grandfather was a German.
They're on your side. They're on your side in the last World War.
Yeah.
And you're over here acting like...
I do German food before Italian food. Fucking sausages and shit. And like,
listen, this is what I really want to get down on. And you might be my perfect friend for this. And I don't know why we haven't talked about doing this either. This is on a side tangent that I just thought of that I don't want to forget about.
Yep.
During quarantine, there was this McDonald's challenge going around.
Okay.
You don't
I'm in
this?
already, but continue.
You don't remember?
I don't think I do.
It was like a 20-piece nugget, 2 double cheeseburgers,
actually,
like
I
2
do remember
fries,
this.
and 2 Cokes or something like that. Like, it looked like it was light work.
Yeah.
Like, the lightest of work.
Honestly, the Cokes would probably be the biggest issue. Like, drinking like 84 ounces of Coke is tough. But even then, it's not impossible. It's like the least fun part of it.
Bro, you're fucking thirsty after all those fries, bro. There's no
That's true. It's a lot
way.
of sodium. A lot of sodium.
It just looks like light work.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about this before because I'm getting deja vu. And my boy Nick, who's on, we should get him on. He's left the industry to run his dad's business, but he was in the thing for a long time. He was also like down to have this challenge. So anyway, we got to put that on the shelf. And then B, about the Italian stuff. I've shared this meme multiple times where somebody has gone to Olive Garden and picked up a bunch of breadsticks and they put them down, slit them down the middle, and they put a fucking hot dog in there. And it just looks fucking wicked good.
Yeah, all right.
We should do that.
I'm a hot dog guy.
We should do that. Like, that should be a new thing. Like the Olive Garden breadstick with the hot dog and like soggy style.
Yeah,
all the way.
That's actually, that to me though is the like, everybody always wants to shit on Olive Garden, or everybody always wants to be like, Olive Garden's not real Italian food. I would love to put Olive Garden in like a blind taste test with like 5 other Italian restaurants and have anybody tell me what the fucking difference is.
Have you seen these bitches that can tell the Diet Cokes apart? Have you seen this viral video?
No, but I could tell. Like a Diet Coke from regular Coke, or are you talking like diet sodas like all lined up with
yeah. Like they put like a shoebox, right?
Yeah.
So you can see all the different Cokes, right? So they put a Diet Coke in a bottle, a Diet Coke in a can. They got one from Wendy's. They got one from Chick-fil-A. They got one from Taco Bell. They got one from McDonald's or something like that. And this broad fucking
nails
goes
them all
and tells you. But it's not just one girl. I've seen like multiple people do it. And one girl even does it with Sprite.
Damn.
And it's like they're drinking like that much fast food takeout soda.
Yeah, that they can tell which one's which.
They can fucking tell.
Yeah.
What the hell, bro?
Yeah, that's fucking sad.
That's crazy.
mean, that's a lot of fucking aspartame, man. That's like they got a brain tumor with their fucking name written all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that shit.
I don't know. It's giving me vibes of like the girl who can do that is like that chick that like she tried to call out like the reptilian overlords on the airplane, and like nobody ever heard from her again.
What?
You don't know? Remember this girl that's like, those motherfuckers aren't real?
I don't remember that.
No?
She just started freaking out in the middle of a plane. The air marshal have to fucking tase her?
Yeah, and then then she like came out and said that she was like just being dumb, and it didn't even like really look like her that much.
Yeah. So you think she got taken out?
Yeah.
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 All right.
Big time.
Okay.
She got thrown over the ice wall.
Speaking about stupid bitches, there was a table last night of women who just were cackling the entire time, and it just made me realize I don't know if I could love my grandchildren if my kids marry like a white trash like Rhode Island girl. Like that accent just like cuts through me. You know, like oh, stop, I can't believe you. Oh, it's like, oh, fucking Jesus, lady. Like, that's how you fucking talk? Oh, my God.
You got to move, dude.
I kind of do. Like, if my...
Can we make a Touching Tips family compound?
Yeah.
We can move out to the woods.
I'd be okay with that. If my granddaughter, though, sounds like that, like, I'm going to kill her.
We have, the labor force to get it done.
That's true.
We just homeschool these boys, bring them up on some Budweiser and some smoking in the house, you know?
My middle son won't do much work, but, you know, he watches. My oldest son will make up for it, though. He's the worker.
Nice.
Yeah. He's the one that's like imbued with like the crippling need to please his father.
He's the meme when your father gave you work ethic instead of generational wealth.
Exactly. Yeah. My middle son though gives no fucks about me whatsoever. And my youngest son might be a little soft around the edges, you know. He's the one with the did I tell you the gardening story with him?
No.
My youngest son comes home from school. And,
tell it again. I want to. Yeah, I think this is.
He comes home from school and he's all excited. And he's like, "Dad, I want to join the gardening club." I'm like, "I don't know if there is such a thing," but he's like, "Not only is there, pal, good news for you. I got a letter from them."
Newsflash, dipshit.
And I'm like, "Okay, yeah. I mean, if you want to join it, you could join it. Let's see what this fucking letter is." He hands me a letter and he was like, "See, it says gardening right there." Like, okay. I look at it, and it says, "To parents and guardians of Roland Long." I'm like, okay, well, that's a bad start. Open the letter up, and the whole letter is just basically about how it's like, your son is, like, way behind on his reading level and doesn't know how to read yet. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that tracks. You know, like, I think you might be onto something.
Oh, man.
So I had to tell him that not only A, is there no gardening club, but B, you got to read, pal. Like,
B, are you rolling long, bro? You rolling some long doobies, man?
Jesus. Yeah. I don't know. It is kind of a sad thing, though, where, like, I love to read. I read all the time, and it's just he's not good at it. It's just, you know, I guess you just, you know, your kids are different people, you know.
I mean, I'm not really much for reading either.
Yeah.
And you're sitting here hanging out with my dumb ass.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. He's you know, he's a special little boy.
That brings me to like a when you were talking about white trash earlier, like I got called white trash yesterday.
Oh yeah?
It was great, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, this
like
kid,
to your face?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
right.
right. It's from a kitchen guy.
Oh, okay.
But I feel like it's like this dude that I work with at the tavern, and he's like always coming in. I feel like he fucking drinks or some shit. You know what I mean? He's always coming in like tired and late and stuff. And last time he came in, he just fucking turns on, I don't even know what kind of genre of music this is. You know what I mean? But it's I called it Latino. I go, oh, Jeff's here. I can't wait until he turns on that Latino music.
Yeah.
And he got like all mad that I said that. And he's like, Latino. He goes, fuck you, you white trash piece of shit. And I go, holy shit, dude. Like, I was just fucking kidding, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and then he was like,
Is it like Latino like Pitbull, or is it like Latino like ranchero music?
I don't know what that means. You're the one with the Mexican stepfather, bro. I don't fucking know that shit.
Well, I'm just saying, is there like, you know, fucking guitars and shit, and like guys going like,
yeah, there's some of that, but I feel like it's also got like a little DJ remixing to it where they're like, you know, some shit I don't know about.
Yeah.
There's some shit where you're like teeter-tottering on the border type of thing. Like, I feel like his boy that he used to hang out with, that used to cook with us all the time, he got busted for being like an illegal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, they're fucking coming for
like
him.
Now I see him in Mexico. I'm friends with this kid on Facebook. You know what I mean? He just looks like he's living a regular life.
Yeah.
Can't be that bad down there.
Yeah, I mean,
he's just down there chilling.
Right.
It's not like he's got like fucking, you know.
Yeah, it's not like he's pissing and shitting in a bucket, you know? Yeah. They have running water and everything.
I'm like trying to think of who like the most recent, like who would get like the Super Bowl T-shirts that didn't win. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but that's probably still that like Ethiopia and Somalia.
Yeah, they don't got that going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, Mexico's like second worldish, you know? It's not third world. It's just like, you know, it just kind of sucks down there. That's all.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know.
You know, you live by the border, some crazy shit can happen, but, you know, for the most part, you're just like you're living in farmland and
I've
shit.
I've only ever been to
just...
Jamaica besides America, and they're like, don't go off the resort. And the one time we went off the resort, it was just like, cool.
Oh, okay. So it was cool? Yeah. Just saying, you don't want to be just wandering around Trenchtown.
Well, from what I gathered, we were in a more like affluent area of Jamaica, and it was like they had like school vacation or something going on. So really, we just like went to the beach with all these other like rich for Jamaica families. You know what I mean? So it was like, it wasn't like all these like Rastaman being like, you know, wasn't that many people trying to sell me weed.
Yeah, it wasn't like Peter Tosh rolling around. Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
But that was the same beach though that we went there once, and then there were some homeless people, and they asked us to bring food back from the resort.
Yeah,
and we gave them like we snuck cheeseburgers back for them and shit, and they like ate that food so fast, and then proceeded to throw all the plastic like on the ground at the beach. And I was like, yo.
Yeah.
Not in the ocean, man. Fuck, what are you doing?
Well, this might come as a surprise to you, but if you're starving to death, you don't give a fuck about turtles.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I always end up leaving Jamaica with is like there's just fucking plastic trash everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not I'm not like this poverty, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys gotta recycle.
Did you guys miss that fucking elementary school meeting or whatever? You know, it's like the fucking reduce, reuse, recycle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're like their version of that is like try to keep the gang members from macheteing your arm off for not participating in child labor crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Babylon system, man. Bob Marley was telling us. Yeah.
Some guy, I saw this comedian like hating on Jamaican immigrants because they like hate on like black dudes in New York, and they're like, how many jobs you got? And they're like, none, I've got 3, man. Just saying that like nobody wants to work and shit.
Wait a minute, like the Jamaican guys don't want to work, or
no, like they come here to work.
Yeah,
and they're just shitting on like everybody riding like the welfare system and shit. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say I used to work with a Jamaican guy who's the fucking hardest working guy I've ever fucking worked with.
Yeah. Like the guys that make it out and get over here, they be working.
Yeah.
I don't know. You go to the resorts, dude. Some of those motherfuckers are like stuck in slow motion. Like they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well,
like they're just like, hey, I'm getting paid hourly. You're not tipping. Yeah, you'll wait. I don't care.
Yeah.
All white people look the same to me.
Yeah. Well,
I'll see you later.
If you white, you Ben Affleck.
Affleck.
Yeah.
Like the duck.
Do you ever see Role Models?
That's a good movie. We can talk about that one. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say that's the if you white, you Ben Affleck. Yeah. Little black kid calling
Yeah, I don't remember that line, but I do like that kid.
Yeah.
In the show. And then they like nerd out at the end.
They do the LARPing shit.
Yeah. I don't know. I enjoy
LARPing.
No. I enjoy Sean William Scott as a person.
I love Stifler. Yeah. Did you ever see the movie Goon?
No.
You got to watch Goon. Goon's good.
Shout out to my boy Tyler. He gave me that disc, and I feel like I never watched it, and I still have it like in my garage with all my DVDs, and I'm gonna
Goon. Oh yeah, watch it.
To cyberspace it's fucking good. One day. I don't even think I have an apparatus to watch it. I don't have a DVD player anymore.
I mean, do you have a streaming service? It's on TV and shit. You know, like you can find it.
Dude, I fucking hate streaming services.
I do too.
Just give me. I don't understand why we just can't like. I'm all about the monopoly at this point.
Honestly, it's a case of us getting exactly what we deserve. You remember all those years of having like a cable package where like you're like, I don't watch this fucking channel. Why do I need this fucking channel? All I want to do is watch my 8 channels. All I want to do is be able to pay for my 8 channels. And it's like everybody heard that and was like, all right, cool. Now all you have to do is pay for my streaming service, which has the 8 shows you want to watch on it. And it's like, yeah, but like I want to watch
some other stuff.
I want to watch 12 now, and 2 of them are on this one of them's on this one, and one of them's on fucking this one. It's like it's all said and done. You're paying like $120 a month for cable still, and now you just have to go through fucking 5 apps before you find something you want to watch.
My shit is just like, especially with like sports, like I don't understand why you just can't pay. Like, why isn't there just one universal sports package, and you split that fucking $500 a year or whatever it is amongst, like you worry about chopping it up. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to see all the pay-per-views and I want to watch whatever fucking, you know what I mean? If I want to watch the Hungarian lacrosse, like.
You're going to watch Hungarian lacrosse. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to, but I want
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Like, I just want a all-encompassing sports package.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to be like, oh, this is on Peacock, and this is on Amazon, and this is on the NFL Network. Like, I don't want to fucking manage all these goddamn apps for no fucking reason. You know, like, and that's why I just try not to care anymore.
Yeah, I mean it works better that way. But yeah,
it doesn't.
Well, like, who has time to even watch all these fucking sports anymore? Like, you know, if you're a 4 major sport fan, like between all of those games, you're talking like thousands of hours of watching sports like every year. It's like that's just not even healthy, you know?
I just think there's like you have like I had a good run.
Oh yeah, as a Boston sports fan? Yeah.
Just as like a sports fan in general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like of really being tuned in. There were times where I had like I played I never played fantasy hockey, but I played fantasy everything else, multiple leagues going, you know, like. maybe I never had multiple fantasy basketball leagues going or multiple fantasy baseball leagues going, but I was in both of those with like 3 or 4 football leagues going. You know what I mean? Like every app on my phone was like Bleacher Report, ESPN.
Yeah, you were basically like a fucking miniature Adam Schefter. It's like you were breaking news before other people.
Exactly.
Were. Yeah.
Even that was one of my first nicknames that got given to me. Like my boy Mike, he was like this. They called him the Sports Machine at the Cheesecake Factory, and they called me the Sports Machine at Uno's.
Yeah.
So it was like which side of the mall you wanted to go to talk sports. You know what I mean? And then eventually they were like, you two guys should like fucking hang out. And then we hung out. We were like fucking best buds.
Yeah.
You know. So. And he's the guy that he's the one that I went to Denver with for like the last Brady game. He's the one that I went to the World Series with, the Boston World Series.
Yeah.
We've been to a lot. We went to Edelman's first game back from his suspension. Like, I don't know. We've had a lot of good, but we've been to a bunch of the Boston parades together. So I had a good run.
Yeah.
But it's like once like life takes over and you have to like worry about, like, I'm way more worried about like my investments and keeping my wife happy and all this other life shit that gets in the way.
Yeah.
It's like I just don't have the attention span that I used to have.
Yeah.
You know, like it used to be like I'm looking forward to watching this game all day. And now it's like watching the game is like I'd rather go to bed early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I really would. Like I'm fucking beat. I'm working 6 days a week. You know what I mean? I always got some fucking side hustle going on and shit, cooking my dog food. I'm busy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I could, even if I did sit down to watch a game, like I would be like doing this, you know? And it's like, I don't know. It's to the point where I'm not even like I don't even make good fantasy football decisions anymore. You know what I mean? Like both my leagues, I made deadline trades. I didn't start the right guys. I traded the wrong guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just made no good decisions. And I feel like I took myself from being like a contender to like just trading some good guys to like the worst team in the league. And he's never going to come back. And it's like I possibly lost the depth just to acquire Christian McCaffrey. And it's like I didn't even need a running back.
Yeah.
I just did it to do it.
Yeah.
And I was playing the guy that I made the trade with.
Oh, that's the kiss of death.
Like I didn't even know. I didn't even like. You know what I mean? Like normally I'd be so dialed in. Like let's talk about our boy, PM. If we don't want to say names on this shit, right? This motherfucker. I get the news that fucking Daniel Jones is getting benched for DeVito or whatever the guy's name is, right? So I'm on my phone.
Tommy Cutlets.
Tommy Cutlets. I'm on my phone doom scrolling. You know what I mean? I see fucking, I get a ton of notifications about the NFL because it's like, how many apps do I? It's like you get the sleeper notifications, you get the fucking Bleacher Report, ESPN.
Yeah, when something happens, my phone lights up like a Christmas tree.
So it's like I got 7 different notifications telling me that the Giants were benching Daniel Jones, right?
Yeah.
But in the middle of those 7 notifications coming through, it's like this guy picks up fucking Tommy Cutlets.
Yeah.
Like that's how like he sees it and he's like, bam, I got to make this move in free agency in my league. You know what I mean? And it's like, holy shit. Like, even if I thought that and I've been the guy fighting the battle being like, yo, I have to pick up a backup quarterback at some point. And it's like, I'm doom scrolling, not doing anything.
Yeah.
I see the notification that's like, hey, this guy is right here. You should go get him. And then boom.
Yep.
Fucking, it's crazy.
I mean, if you're
like
relying
that,
on...
you got to like live, sleep, and breathe it at this point. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's like I just fucking don't care. I don't care enough. Like
that kid also is like in a he's at a period of time where in his life where he's probably not fulfilled by anything other than fantasy football. So it's like he's just waiting for things like that to happen.
I guess, yeah.
He has like young kids. I remember that. That was like my peak, like like I was 14 to like 18 or so. That was like when anything that was happening in fucking fantasy sports, I was like all over it.
You're like
so
nursing a baby.
Yeah,
and,
I
like,
was just stuck at home with my fucking kids all day.
Keeping up on the news. Yeah, I can see that. I want to say my most productive time in fantasy is like when I had like a girlfriend that I couldn't stand, and I was like, just leave me alone. I need to do my studies.
Yeah.
Like beat it. I don't even care if I get laid tonight. I would like my life a lot better if you weren't here. Like, just get out of here.
See, my wife just makes fun of me for doing fantasy sports. She's like, what are you doing? Your fantasy football shit, you fucking loser? Like, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I like it when my wife bullies me like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, yeah, you're right.
I saw a great shirt on somebody was wearing it on TikTok, and it said, don't bully me or I'll come.
I'll come? Yeah.
You know,
I think fucking Diane sent me that shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's all we would do is just fucking talk shit.
Yeah.
Just hate speech.
That's a good shirt. Anyway.
I like the shirt from the movie Old School.
Movie from Old School shirt.
You know how the movie Old School starts?
Yeah. How does that movie start?
The guy fucking. So Mitch gets home, gets out of the meeting early, and he goes home.
Yeah.
And guy,
I'm here for the orgy.
I'm just. I think his shirt says, "I'm here for the gangbang."
Oh, for the gangbang.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
But I've seen people wearing that in public and been like, "Nice."
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing I wanted to bring up, right? So you're at the airport, right? You're going through like TSA.
Yeah.
And like, everybody's all serious. So, bags off. And you're like, all right, whatever, fucking hardo, TSA, fuckface. But you end up getting friendly with them because they help you like skip the line and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they must have made some page, and it's like these three guys are like coming from past the metal detector or whatever you want to call it, like back through the other way. You know what I mean? And the one dude's like, we're getting all paged up here. And he's like looking around, like just laughing. And I was like, dude, look at this guy being happy for once at this early in the morning. And then he breaks out, because we're the three best friends
that anyone
and I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit. And I was so tempted and he just looks around. He was like so disappointed that the other guys didn't chime in like you just did, my boy.
Yeah.
And I almost had him.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
I mean, you dropped the ball. That guy was probably could have been your lifelong friend.
And then I saw him like 4 hours later walking, and I wanted to be like, because we're the three best friends. And I was like, no, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Now you're like really showing your tism.
Yeah.
You got to leave that.
Yeah. I had a moment like that at one of my kids' soccer games or whatever, where I wear shit. I don't even pay attention to what the fuck I'm wearing or whatever. And one of the other dads or whatever, like at the end of the game, like the guy just goes like, hey, good luck this year. And I'm like thinking like he's just talking about like soccer. And I'm like, yeah, good luck to you too. And then he was just kind of like pointed to his hat. He was wearing like a Lions hat. And I was like, I have a Lions shirt on. I was like, oh, right.
This is my nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh shit. I guess I have to talk to you for a minute. But yeah. But I just felt like a fucking idiot because I was like, I had no fucking idea what this dude was even talking about. I was like, yeah.
It's like those Frenchmen at the tavern wearing the Yankees hat. And they like just don't understand why the guy's giving him shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like such a weird thing to have like another Lions fan out in the fucking wilderness. So it's just like, it wasn't even like on my radar, you know?
Oh, I waited on these two Lions fans at the airport, and I was like, oh, I should fucking take a picture with these guys and tell them my friend Brendan's a lifelong Lions fan. And then they left me like 10 on 68. And I was like, fuck these
them.
Lions fans. I hope Jared Goff dies. I hope fucking.
Hey, I mean, after that, I wouldn't blame you. Like, if Jared Goff did die and it was because you said that just now, I'd be like, he's
then I
right.
would feel bad.
No, fuck him. You know?
Yo, you know who's funny for like who gets no love in the quarterback realm is Blake Bortles.
Yeah, he
Have
is.
you ever seen like any interviews with him?
Yeah, he's funny. Yeah.
He just talks about like pissing and smoking cigarettes. I'm like, this fucking guy's awesome. He's great.
He's basically like Ben Roethlisberger light. You know, like he looks like exactly the same. Like I don't know how that like the genetic makeup of the two individuals, but like they could be like brothers.
His name's like Ben Roethlisberger.
yeah.
Just without
he's Ren Roethlisberger
without the hard R.
Yeah. Ooh, wow, all right. Gotcha.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. No, he's funny though. I feel like a bunch of guys kind of like become like better like I mean obviously better like broadcasters, better like personalities than when they were like playing sports though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I sent you this thing. It's like Deion Sanders talking to Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco. And Ocho asked Deion if he's got any coaching, if he could have a job coaching. And Deion's basically like, he's like, you won't do a good job. He's like, you have to be a good teacher. He's like, we're trying to make, he's like being like a real coach. You know,
yeah.
And Ocho's like, I'm a great teacher. He's like, I get out there. He's like, I put the cleats on. I give him the footwork. I show him. He's like, who's like the big guy that's on Colorado? Travis Hunter or whatever.
Yeah.
He's the guy that plays receiver and DB.
Yes, yeah, the two-way player.
Yeah, so he's like, so then I'll go out there and I'll roast them on offense, and he's like, then I'll go roast them on defense, and then prime time's like, he's like, well, what happens when I lace my cleats up? And then fucking, I swear to God, Ocho Cinco goes, you ain't gonna do nothing. You only got 8 toes left in your life. And then fucking Deion Sanders just goes, yo, and fucking ends the chat.
Oh shit, he just like dropped out after that.
He's like, fuck you, dude, you got me. Like,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna do shit. You only got 8 toes.
You ain't gonna do shit. You ain't only got enough toes.
Yeah. Well, what is that anyway? Does he have like diabetes or some shit? Is that
I think
racist
it's
for me to say?
some kind of like circulation issue or
Yeah.
something.
Might have been a little racist
Diabetes?
to just assume that he had diabetes.
I don't know.
It's a big problem.
That brings me to another thing that just thought I was like, oh, kind of racist, kind of diabetes, but like people are saving and selling Mrs. Buttersworth's containers.
What is like an act of like protest?
They're like they just fill them back up with other syrup. And like, you'll never take her from me.
Good for them. I mean,
So I would need one.
You got to stand for something in life.
I got to get one on eBay.
Yeah,
I need it.
before they become collector's items.
Like I need like the big like 175 like Frangelico bottle adjacent.
Yeah,
There's probably some nice ones. I'm gonna look it up
there you go.
instead of looking at GI Joes.
Yeah, they probably have like fucking. I bet you if it's that nerdy, I bet you they have like ones that are like hand blown glass and shit now.
I don't want that.
No,
I want one made by. I want one made by a 6-year-old Chinese man.
Yeah,
In the 60s.
made out of fucking dinosaur bones and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this conspiracy theory that said like Himalayan salt is just like just preserved chunks of giants that got killed in the flood. That's wild. That's wild.
I feel like you can't just keep saying conspiracy theories and then saying just like random, like that's like a Mad Lib sentence you just
No,
busted
it's not.
out.
Because they're really like
yeah.
everybody believes all of like the old books and shit have a story of like the ancient flood, Noah's flood,
Sure.
where the earth gets flooded, and then with flooding comes whatever the sedimentation is needed to make fossilization happen.
Yep.
And fossilization pretty much just turns everything into a rock. And so then they go through like all these like they're taking these rocks out of the ground and they just look very similar to like how bacon looks
Yeah.
and how chunks of meat look once you chop them up and stuff, and they're just showing the similarities on that.
Yeah.
They're just riding the coattails of my boy who thinks Jim Morrison turned into Rush Limbaugh. You know what I mean? There's like copycat content. You know that?
Yeah.
And I think I've seen another show. It pops up every now and then with like 3 like server kind of guys talking, chopping shop up.
Yeah.
I think we have to kill them. We have to challenge them. To
I'm
a
okay
fight.
with that. Yeah.
I think
Fuck them.
we could take them. One of them looks pretty nerdy.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the kind that have a gun usually, but
What? The nerds have guns?
yeah.
Not usually. Like what kind of nerd?
Oh, you're kind of a nerd if you're like into guns, I think.
Well, I'm saying though, what kind of nerd was he?
Oh,
Yeah,
like
what-
on the brink of he kind of could be a school shooter.
Yeah. All
He
right.
gave me those vibes, like teeter-tottering on the edge.
Yeah, but that requires planning.
If he got bullied a
If
little
I
too
just
hard.
if I just come fucking at him, then there's no planning for that.
I feel like school, if you shouldn't get any credit for planning something. It's like just planning on running like a half marathon.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because if you do like a school shooting, like inherently, like it's
Yeah.
like a suicide mission, right?
Yeah.
So like they're not like escaping after. It's not like a
Yeah.
great heist movie or anything like that. It's
Right.
like, you're just playing this halfway out and then like giving up.
Yeah,
You're not going on like the Grand Theft Auto 5-star chase afterwards, and like
that's true. Yeah, we haven't seen
know?
one of those yet.
that's all I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it's not like a top tier like villain.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah. What is there really to plan? Like,
yeah.
yeah, just show up and start shooting. Yeah.
Especially like, how many kids can you really hate in one school? It's like you're trying to find like 3 kids,
Yeah.
that you really got to get, and then maybe everybody else is like, hey, if I get him, I get him. But it's
and
like, I got to
even
get
then,
these.
all you have to do is just kind of like look at their schedules and be like, all right, well, they all have the same math
I know
class. So I
that.
mean, it's period 5 is obviously the time to do it. you
Every
know?
time I've been involved in every shooter drill.
Yeah.
Like they've told me exactly where everybody's going to be.
That's true. I mean, when they do all those like drills and kind of thing, you're given like the opposition the playbook, like.
I actually have a bit about this on my if I ever become a stand-up comedian notepad one day, where it's like nobody ever sings the praises of school shooters because they're just like technically one of the last natural predators that people have left. You know what I mean? So
Gotcha.
slowly they're just like, they're going in and they're taking out the slow ones of the herd, the ones that can't get away, the ones that are too stupid, maybe the retarded ones.
Famine, disease, war, school shooters. That's what we're coming to.
Yeah.
It's like those are the 4 things that control human population.
Nobody's, everybody's hating on them, but it's like you're kind of streamlining the population for us in ways that the health industry, you're combating the health industry, really. It could be heroes.
And I mean, just think of how motivated all of those other kids are going to be for the rest of their lives,
Yeah. You know what I think is what I just thought of too? It's like RFK is like now appointed of like the czar.
Health
Yeah,
czar.
and he's like against like all of these like red dyes and all this shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's fucking
But it's
wild.
like, that's like the mafia in the food. Like he's like, everybody else in my family got assassinated. It's my destiny.
Yeah, exactly.
To get assassinated. It's like, bro, like the guy making
he gets
fruit
killed-
roll-ups is fucking plotting on you.
Yeah.
Fucking big time right now.
If he gets killed, I am 100% open to the conspiracy theories.
yeah.
Just so you know.
He's like, like somehow the same company that flew Kobe's helicopter is now driving RFK's limousines for
Yeah.
him.
Seems suspicious.
You don't say.
Yeah. His dad got killed. His fucking uncle got killed. His fucking cousin died in a fucking stupid plane accident.
It is my destiny. Yeah, he died in a sketchy plane crash, right?
Yeah. That one, though, I think it sounded like it was his fault.
Who, isn't there like one Kennedy that like he like fucking drove a girl off a bridge or some shit
Yeah,
like
that was
that?
Ted.
Like,
Ted.
is he also, did he get
Well,
assassinated?
no, he just lived to be old. Like, he was, but before
He
that
lived his life out. And just,
Yeah. So that was Chappaquiddick. It was like a place in the Cape or whatever. But he got fucking bloated one night. This was like after, because he was the youngest, I think he was the youngest brother, the Kennedys. And he was like, he was on pace to be like the next like big Kennedy political figure. Even him, he was like a senator for years and years. But like he was on pace to be like the next presidential kind of candidate kind of dude. And yeah, he got fucking loaded one night with a girl in his fucking car, drove off a fucking bridge, and he saved himself and left the girl in the fucking car. Just drowned. That was it. Yeah. And like it's just like everyone knew it and it didn't matter. He didn't get like prosecuted or anything. It was just like a horrible it was a horrible
tragedy.
accident, And it's like motherfucker was drunk, drove off a fucking bridge, and killed that girl, And then he still served he like lived to be like whatever, 80 something. He was a senator the whole fucking time. Yeah. So yeah.
Lived a life.
Yep. Politicians are pieces of shit.
Anarchy.
Yeah.
Pitchforks. Tar and
whatever.
feather.
It won't matter because we'll just replace those fucking assholes with other assholes because
Yeah.
we're all assholes.
I just would love to be a part. I just love to see it. I
Yeah.
just love to be like a fly on the wall of like,
Go back like French Revolution style, cutting
like
people's fucking heads off.
like, yo, they put this motherfucker in the guillotine?
Yeah.
They got him?
Well, that's how that ended. The fucking Robespierre, the fucking guy who was like the architect of all that shit. You know how the French Revolution ended, right?
I thought some like chick put her titty out and like rode a horseback or some shit.
I mean, no, it's
Marie Antoinette or something.
Well,
Did she ride a horse?
they fucking killed those people, but I'm saying they ended up killing the fucking guy who started it all, the fucking Robespierre. So it was like he was the one that was guillotining everybody, and then at the end, everybody was like, "Well, fucking let's guillotine this fuck too." And there's like, "Hold up, no," You get what you get.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what happens, you just end up being a piece of shit like everybody else.
I feel like that's got to be like a traumatic to watch that though, because there's no way like the body doesn't like flail around and do some weird shit afterwards.
Yeah, but people love watching shit like that.
There's got to be like some Kill Bill neck.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of blood, I would imagine.
Yeah.
They don't fucking cauterize the wound. Fucking just lob that motherfucker's head off.
They're like, make sure he lands on that bale of hay.
Yeah,
there's gonna be a lot of liquid we need soaked up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't think you give people enough credit. Like, I think people would line up to see that shit.
Yeah, it's like almost making me feel bad for like not having kids now. It's like, damn, they went through all that, and I'm just gonna keep.
I'm just gonna keep all my resources for myself.
It's gonna keep coming on these tummies, huh? All right.
Well, I can't pull out of a parking spot, so.
Yeah, you've generated enough male.
Yeah,
white Christian males to carry on the torch for me and my family.
White males. I don't know about Christians. We're not doing a very good job of that. My fucking mother-in-law is like a devout Christian, like one of these, fucking like straight up. Every answer to her is like, well, God and Jesus. It's like, all right, pal. But she's like, I never got any of my kids confirmed. None of them are like good practicing Catholics. I take them to church like, I don't know. I think I've taken them like twice, and it was like one was a baptism and another one was like a funeral. So she's all pissed off that like we don't really do shit with the church or whatever. She keeps it to herself though, but yeah, we're not like that.
Yeah. My only thing, like later in my life, I feel like because I didn't go through any of this, I was like a very rebellious child. I didn't want to be put in a box at all. You know what I mean? So, but it did catch up to me because then I dated a girl who or married a girl, whatever you want to say, is
well, did you marry her? Is this Renee?
Yes.
Yeah, gotcha.
So that she went to Catholic school and all this shit. You know what I mean? So she's confirmed and blah blah blah. She wanted to get married in the church. We wanted the wedding blessed or whatever the fuck this is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that because I never did any of this shit, now we had to go and have like 6 or 7 meetings with a priest, like hour-long meetings with this priest, you know? And he did bring up, like, credit to him, and like I think what this was meant to do is like he did bring up a lot of like potential questions, you know what I mean, about faith and family and goals and what you see in the future and stuff like that. You know, so I wouldn't say that I wouldn't want to do it again, but maybe like 3 or 4 meetings would have sufficed. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I think, 50-50, he wanted to do a good job for us, and 50-50, he wanted this to be a Catholic marriage. Like he wanted me.
He wants your kids. That's what he wants.
Yes, he wanted me to convert.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, he's like, well, Ryan, there's only one question left. Is this going to be a mixed marriage, or is this going to be a Catholic mass? You know what I mean? I was like, it's a fucking mixed marriage, bro. Like, I'm not buying into your cult. Like,
yeah, I mean, you had to jump through a lot more hoops than I did. My wife's Catholic, and we had to get married in the church because of her mom and all that shit. But like, it was just one of those things where like, it just took a meeting where I was just like, I don't really care about any of this, so I'll be happy to raise my kids Catholic because I don't fucking care. You know, I went to 4 years of Catholic school, and that was enough Catholicism for me.
Why?
Yeah. Why what?
I don't understand why you got let off the hook so easy.
I mean, probably because I'm just a generally more agreeable person than you are.
That was basically like my my stance on like jury duty. They're like, why won't you be a good juror? Like, well, let me tell you about the fucking, you know what I mean?
Let me tell you about the lizard people.
Holy shit, dude! Like, you can go wait in this room for like 3 more hours just for us out of spite, and then we'll let you go.
Yeah,
like stop riling the people up, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I think also it's a fucking power in numbers thing. So it was like my wife is the youngest of 4 daughters. Or 5 daughters. All of her sisters got married in that same church. All of my nieces and nephews were all confirmed and baptized. So it's like 11 kids there. I had 3 more. So like I said, it's a numbers game. They're just like, all right, well, how can we make as many of these people into our fucking shit as possible? It's like, all right, we'll take the fucking reject over here. He can come on in if he wants, as long as his fucking kids end up being like Catholics.
Yeah.
It's a fucking numbers game. Whereas you, like, I bet, is Renee an only child?
No.
How many siblings does she have?
1.
Were they younger or older? Like, had they already gotten married in the church or anything?
She's the oldest. You know what? Actually, you know what I think the issue was? Because we got married at the church that's on PC's campus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, if you...
So was it not even your church? That's another thing, too.
We don't fucking go to church.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like,
my mother-in-law goes to church every fucking week, so I'm sure a part of it was like, hey, we fucking come in here every fucking week or whatever. I think she goes to church like multiple times a fucking week. So yeah. So you got to grease the wheels, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it had something like whatever the arrangement was to get like the priest to do the wedding at the church was probably like on his terms, and he was like dictating this.
Yeah,
because I remember like initially they were like, you guys have to go on like this retreat. Like they wanted us to go on like it was like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of deal. And I was like, yo, I'm not like forfeiting my wages.
I'm not getting molested
for like
this.
all of my work, and that like this was the compromise, was to have like these meetings instead. And basically like I just went full blown conspiracy theory on this priest on everything. And he was pretty willing to talk shop.
Yeah.
Like he came to the wedding and stuff. And like he actually like sat at the table with my dad, who was like an agnostic.
Yeah.
Like his take is like, I believe that at some point
there might be something, but I don't know what it is.
There has to be something, because at some point science,
there was nothing.
There's no such thing as spontaneous generation, right? Like all the laws of science dictate that something happened that you don't know about. And he just states that he's too ignorant to know what happened, which I think is a pretty solid stance. And
generally speaking, I'll agree with anybody who claims that they don't know something.
Yeah. That's kind of like where I'm at. It's like, dude, there's like 7 other religions before the Bible came out that all kind of tell the same story.
Yeah.
Like this is just the next thing. And if you know anything about like what was that time where like those monks were like going around just like interrogating everybody?
Spanish Inquisition?
Yeah, like they rewrote some of this shit to be like more controlling of the stupid poor people.
Yeah.
So like I'm just not fully sold on this particular version
right.
of the story. Like
I'm gonna wait for the remix.
No, I'm done with the remixes. Like, find me the sample.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
enough,
Like, go back and find me the sample. And he was more than willing to talk shop on that. Of like, I think he just knew that there was a greater good or felt the spiritual connection or whatever. Because he was like a younger dude.
Yeah,
he was like probably not much older than us. And I just was, all right, man. Like, I don't know. I just endured the storm.
Yeah.
They never got me to buckle. And then we had our wedding the way that we wanted to have it.
There you go. That's all it counts.
I did it.
It's a happy wife, happy life.
Yes.
Yeah. The only thing I would say is I was adamant that I was like, I'm not doing a full mass though. Because it was like 3 weeks into dating my wife. It was rarely early in our relationship. And this was when we were drinking so hard. Like, this was like fucking 22, 23, 24, where I was getting bombed every fucking day all the time. I was living in an apartment with my brother. But fucking it was so it was like the first month of me dating this girl, and she invites me to go to this wedding. It's like her sister's friend, and it's like, Irish Catholic, the guy's a cop. It's like a fucking, a packed huge fucking church or whatever for this whole event. And it's like in the middle of August, and it's like 100 degrees in this fucking church, dude. And I'm hungover, sweating bullets. I'm just like, it got to the point where I was almost having like a panic attack. I was like so uncomfortable in there. And I was just like, and it lasted for fucking ever. It was easily like a 90-minute fucking Catholic mass before the goddamn wedding started. So this shit like started at like fucking 10 a.m. and went until like 12:30. It was like a 2.5 hour long fucking wedding. And it came to a point, man, where like I ended up marrying my wife, but there was a moment in time during that wedding where I was like, if I just walk out of here, I just never have to see this girl again. Like, I'll leave and that'll be it. I'll just delete her number and I'll never have to talk to her ever again.
In the name of Jesus.
Like, I was just like, I cannot sit here for another minute. I'm gonna fucking puke. Like, I'm gonna fucking puke, you know? And luckily I made it through it. Ended up marrying her, but that was like one of the stipulations. I was like, there's no fucking way we're doing a full mass. Like, if this thing lasts longer than like 45 minutes, I'm leaving, like, fuck this. So that was the one thing I like put my foot down. I was like, you can hand out your biscuits and drink your wine, whatever you got to do, but we're doing it quickly, like, I'm not here for an all day thing,
We had a mass at my wedding, and that was one of my favorite. My boy Nick that came up from Florida, he's not very religious at all.
Yeah.
So that was like his first time seeing like a Catholic mass, and he goes, there was a point where I was like, what the hell is this? I got to watch everybody go up and get some wine and some treats, and I just got to sit here and watch this shit? Or no, you know what it is? I don't think everybody went up and got it. It was like the priest. You know what I mean? Like, they just
they handed out to like the sacristans.
Yeah, like very short for like the. What do you call that? For the
expedited shit? Yeah.
Just going through the motions. You know what I mean? He's like, so then I got to sit here and watch the priest have his little snack and his drink of wine.
Holds it up and he fucking, it's like, come on, man.
I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
There's a funny story about my wedding where my brother decides, like, we're taking photos after the wedding, right? Like, these are like the serious photos with like the groomsmen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And at one point, he fucking jackass style cold cocks my boy Nick right in the junk.
Just like punches him in the balls? Yeah.
In the balls. And this is a kid. So to be honest, here's his options of the groomsmen, right?
Yeah.
It's himself. He's not going to do it to himself. It's Renee's brother. I can see why he would be off the list. Like, he's not, one of the childhood friends, right?
Then you don't want to just be renegade punching a stranger in the balls, let alone a stranger who's related to the bride.
So I feel like he was smart enough to, like, Blaine can't be the target, right? Yeah. And then we got Wayne, who's the smallest of the bunch, but he's also an ex-Marine and an ex-convict.
Gotcha.
So probably don't want to punch him in the dick and unleash that rage.
Yeah.
Then we got Peter, who's got like 3 tours in the desert under his belt.
Yeah.
The tallest of the bunch, the most in shape and jacked of the bunch.
Yeah.
And then you have Nick, who's out of shape with a pacemaker. And I don't know why. Like, I don't know what sort of childhood trauma. My brother's 9 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So did we do, like, I do remember at one point we like saran wrapped him to a couch, and I like did that thing where you made the, like, you thought the spit was gonna come out, but you didn't.
Sucking it up.
And I might have like lost a spit and spit on him. I might have did that. I don't know. I don't remember. But something to me just screams like it had to be to that night where he's like, I'm going to fucking get him back one day.
Yeah.
So he fucking punches Nick in the dick. And I swear there's a picture of me like, I have my arm on like my sister's shoulder just being like, yo.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
came out of nowhere.
yeah, like I was like, holy shit, like, did you guys like plan this? Like, what the hell's going on? And like, credit to my boy Nick for like not whooping my brother's ass in the middle of my wedding photos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't understand where that came from. Like, if we ever get Jesse on the podcast, like, we have to break this down.
Yeah.
And be like, what?
What were you thinking? Yeah.
Yeah. Where did this come from? Like, it had to come from somewhere. Like,
right.
It's not like, I don't understand. Like, you just thought it would be a funny joke to punch somebody like in the balls, like, and it not be me,
right?
Or like or any of them. Like, you can't be punching a guy with a known pacemaker in the balls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't sound like any of those people were
and
good
then
candidates.
Clearly, like the two ex-service members, like no.
Yeah. Well, hey, good for
Or
him.
even like Renee's brother at that point. Like, he should have got it. If you're just punching dicks to be funny, like, he's the most healthy, reactionary one of the bunch.
Yeah.
You know?
But at the same time, you run the risk of running afoul with the bride.
Yeah.
You know? So, like I said, it sounds like it was a calculated move. I would have chosen the same person. So,
yeah.
I mean, but given all of the information you gave me,
or just not do it,
or just not do it. That would have honestly, I would have never even thought to do it. So,
yeah, like
I don't know, is punching people in the dicks during pictures a thing? Is that like becoming maybe he's a trendsetter? You know?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It haunts me.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
So I'll set this up. I had this great prank that I wanted to play on him, but I just didn't have the time or the energy to pull this off.
Yeah.
So apparently my friend Nick is big into disc golfing, right?
Yeah.
And I guess there's a inherent manners, what do you call that?
Oh, like etiquette
built into the thing. Like,
oh my God, there's etiquette to disc golf.
If
now?
you find you're supposed to write your phone number on your disc, or your email, or fucking
on your
whatever.
B, man.
Huh?
On your B, your frisbee.
Oh yeah, on your I've never heard them called that before. Oh, because they call them like golf, like they're putters and they're fucking irons and stuff. You know what I mean? Like the way that.
So they have like different ones.
Yeah, they
God.
They do different things in the air.
Yeah.
So anyway, this dude, he's an avid disc golfer, right? He creates this thing where I guess there's a lot of water obstacles in Florida on disc golf courses.
Okay.
So he makes this thing that's like a rake on like a pool noodle on a rope. So he can like retrieve people's discs that are like floating in the water hazards. Yeah. And he doesn't give them back. He just fucking keeps that shit. And so I guess he goes on like, these certain courses have like Facebook pages.
Yeah.
And he's like on the Facebook page and there's people like taking picture, like, by the way, this guy, and it's like him by his car.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's got a fucking floating rake or something. He's not giving the disc back. You know, so they started calling him the raker.
Yeah.
Or something, right? So there's a time where him and his lady came up to a Patriots Saints game, right? And I was working. My mom picked him up from the airport. So their first couple hours in Rhode Island, they spent at my mom's house. They order pizza, right?
Yeah.
My brother supposedly talks Nick into splitting a buffalo chicken pizza with him, which is suspect because my brother's vegan.
Yeah.
So Nick buckles and he says, fine, I'll just get the way that he's talking about that I should order this buffalo chicken pizza. Like, I think he wants to split it with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He just doesn't, he's like afraid to ask or it's been too long. You know what I mean? So in Nick's mind, he's like, I'm going to do him a solid and get the buffalo chicken pizza and he's going to have some of it because he wants, obviously,
this pizza. Yeah.
Wants buffalo chicken. So the pizza gets there and Jesse's like, I'm a vegan. I don't want any of this. And Nick's like, why the fuck did I order a buffalo chicken pizza for this fucking vegan? I don't understand. And this is before he got punched in the dick. You know what I mean? He's been doing this curious, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? For a long time.
So he's just like, he's just like gaslighting this dude at this point. It's like, why are you making me feel like I'm fucking crazy? And then you punch me into the dick.
Yes. Yeah. So I come up with this. So you had to know about the pizza thing happening, right? So now I'm like, yo. What if we call, and my brother is very into crank calling people. My mom's brother's always been having us listen to like Jerky Boys and stuff, crank yankers, you know the crank yankers where the guy calls and he's like, I got a bucket of chicken. It's all beaks and feet. It's fucking hilarious, dude. So anyway, we come from that family, right? So I'm like, yo, what if we fucking call Nick like as the park ranger. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? He'd be like, yo, you need to return all these discs or
Yeah.
we're going to fucking ban you, blah, blah, blah. Like, do something to get Nick to show up, right? And then
Yeah.
at the same time, have like a buffalo chicken pizza delivered to that precinct or whatever.
You got to go hard. Like, you have to have like 8 buffalo chicken pizzas delivered
However,
to it.
it's
you
like
know?
and by the way, did you like this? So they have him show up to return all the discs, right?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, did you order 8
Buffalo
buffalo chicken
chicken
pizzas for yourself to be delivered here? Like,
Yeah.
it was the best fucking prank that I ever thought of. And
Yeah.
we just never pulled it off.
I mean, you can
And then,
still do that.
No, because eventually I told Nick about it last
Oh.
time I saw him. I go, bro,
Yeah.
just laugh about what I had cooked up. Like,
Yeah.
just say that it was funny. And he wouldn't even give me he's like, if I heard that phone call, there's no way I would ever comply.
Yeah.
And there's no way. There's
That's
no
true.
way I
Then
would
you just
ever
have some poor
show
asshole
up and
wandering around with 8 pizzas that
Well, no,
we're
you
getting
have to
paid for.
confirm that he was gonna
Show up first.
Yeah, because Jesse was gonna like change his voice and like, you know what I mean? 'Cause he's
Yeah.
good. He won't break character and stuff. You
Yeah.
know, like he could have tricked him.
Pulled it off?
Nick's
Yeah.
a slimy guy. He is.
Yeah.
He's a
Alright.
trickster.
He's a trickster.
Yeah, like we went to that Patriots Saints game and like so he's smoking in the stands and I'm like, Nick, you can't
like
smoke.
just ripping butts.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're in like the 300s when the common men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm like, yo, like you can't do this. Like it's not, I don't know what the fuck they do in Florida.
Yeah.
If you can smoke in the stadium. I don't think you can.
Yeah.
But he's like, it's good. And I'm like, all right, like we're going to get fucking kicked out. And at this point, this is the game where Kembrell Tompkins catches like a last second pass. Like at this point, I'm like, the Patriots are fucking losing this game. I don't
Yeah.
fucking care if we leave or not. So eventually, staff makes their way up, and I'm like, here we go. We're getting fucking kicked out, right?
Yeah.
So he convinces them that he's not smoking a cigarette. It's a vape pen, right? And they're like, well, that's still not allowed, right?
Yeah.
And somehow he parlays his pacemaker condition into the vape being okay. I have a pacemaker, so it's okay that I'm smoking this vape pen,
Yeah.
and I need to go back to my seat,
Yeah.
right? Like they have pulled the 4 of us out of our seats,
Yeah.
and I'm like the last one to
Who's
leave.
the 4 of you?
I'm like, I can't
Like,
even.
are you there with your wife?
I'm not there with my wife. I'm
Okay.
there with a fucking problem fucking person.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So-
yeah.
It's like, so, and you can imagine going to a Patriots game with her.
Yeah.
Right? She's cranked up.
I was gonna say you're probably peeling her out of the fucking seat. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. She was always she was always make friends. She was always very.
I love. She was a very very nice girl.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But like it stopped like anytime there'd be any like animosity or some shit, she'd always kind of like buffer it out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, oh, this crazy girl here, whatever. She
Yeah.
take the testosterone away, you know?
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. I'm just sitting there like kind of mad that we're getting kicked out, I think. And she's just sitting there, I think, waiting for me to do something, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, they fucking pulled me out of my seat. And like, so we're like walking like, you know, now Nick and his lady are like down at the bottom of the 300s.
Yeah.
We're still up at the top, getting ready to make our way down. I start walking down like every step. I'm like, God damn it. And then all of a sudden I look up and fucking Nick and Emily are walking back up and he's like, he fucking goes right back to our seats. And I'm like, this is fucking crazy, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody talk their way.
Way out of it.
Out of
Yeah.
like, you're fucking clearly smoking regular cigarettes. Then you convince them that you're not and that it's okay because you have a pacemaker. Like, please explain to me what
Yeah.
type of lizard trickery you just pulled.
It's probably just like a fucking attendant who's just like, I don't get paid enough for this shit. Just go
I
back to your
guess.
fucking seat.
Yeah.
you
Nah,
know?
normally I've been
Yeah.
kicked out of a lot of games. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like when they educate you about being a bartender and they're like, once you cut somebody off, you never go back on it. The
Yeah.
manager has your back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just is what it is. The decision's been made.
Yeah.
And it's like that's every time I've ever been kicked out. It's like, sorry, pal.
There's no coming back.
There's no coming back from
Yeah.
this. You're already done.
How many games have you been kicked out of?
I don't know. At
Like
least,
enough where you don't even know? Like,
At least 2.
okay. All right. That's fine. All right. You're setting it up like there's been like 11 times you've been kicked out of Gillette Stadium.
No.
No. All right.
Once out of Gillette, once out of Fenway.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Borderline a second time out of Fenway. I've been spoken to very, like,
How did you get kicked out of Fenway? Like, what were you doing?
sitting next to rich people. I was doing the exact same thing that I was doing in the game before.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Just razzing the pitcher, not cursing, not doing anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was just literally like
Just being a vocal participant in the game.
And it's literally just sitting next to a rich person that understood how to like call stadium security and be like, "There's a Wild fan."
Yeah.
You know
Get
what
him
I
out of
mean?
here.
And
Yeah.
just yeah.
Yeah. Were you in good seats or were you like in the bleachers?
Oh, we were in good seats.
Yeah. Well, so. If you're gonna yell shit out, you kind of have to go for the cheap
Yeah,
seats.
but it's the same way. It's the same way with So I have like a legendary game where I'm like 5 rows off the third baseline, and I'm just we talked about just screaming Aroyd the whole time. And so the next game I go to is we're playing the Orioles, right? So it's like you don't have the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry anymore. And I'm giving whoever, I think it's like Nick Markakis or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe we don't have the same seats either. So maybe it's like, I think Markakis is an outfielder, so this lines up. So I'm screaming.
So you're a little further into the outfield?
Screaming at him the whole game. And everybody's like, yo, like, we don't hate the Orioles like that.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, but I do. You know how
I hate everyone, including myself.
Yeah, you know how fucking much inner hatred you have to drink this many double IPAs and still be standing up? Like, so yeah.
Do you know how angry you have to be to yell at Nick Markakis?
Yeah. So there eventually they fucking calm me down. And this time the Orioles game I'm with my friend Tyler, he's much more good natured and good hearted.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, man, like
chill out.
You're never going to convince Tyler to get into a bar fight. He's always going to be like, chill, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Nick Markakis isn't going to kill himself.
Tyler would fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like, I would draft Tyler. If Tyler played like beer league hockey, I'd be like, I need him.
Are we talking, is Tyler the same Tyler that worked at
10?
Yeah.
Were you guys overlapped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my fucking guy, bro.
Yeah. He's a good guy. What is he? We works like CVS or some shit now, right? Something
he's
that?
he does like coding or something.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Traded in bullshit for just typing.
Yeah, that's not bad. Not a bad trade. Anywho. Yeah.
I don't know what else we got. I thought I had some good airport stories. I feel bad about the last time I left the airport. Every single back of the house employee called out.
Really?
The dishwasher called out and both the cooks called out. So I left with like the girl, I don't know how, Nancy's got to be like 50 years old. I feel like I'm probably being nice. Like she's probably into her 50s.
Yeah, well, she had like older teenage kids. So if I had to guess, yeah, she's probably got to be like 55.
she's got like married. Her kids got married like the last time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I thought she said she had like a 22-year-old. Well, yeah, I mean, I consider like early 20s still in your teens. But yeah, like I think she had like a 22 and a 26.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
So, and it's like I left and it was like she was on the line cooking.
Jesus Christ.
And it's like I think she's not even supposed to do somebody else's job for like more than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know what you're supposed to do in that situation. Like to me, it's just like, well, we don't have a kitchen tonight, so we're just going to leave the bar open and all the servers are cut. But I don't know what ended up happening.
Fuck. That's fucking, yeah. Well, I mean, that's unions for you.
Yeah.
Like when you were explaining to me like how like people just like call out of work and like all you have to do is call like what is it, an hour or whatever ahead. It's like
a half hour.
Yeah, Jesus.
It's like that's
Christ.
crazy. Like you can't even get another person to be mobilized and on their way into work in like a half hour.
Yeah.
Like I need like at least an hour.
Yeah.
If you call me out of a dead sleep, I need to take a shower to wake up. I need to brew a pot of coffee and at least have the coffee, at least be drinking the coffee on my drive into the airport.
Yeah, which is a half-hour drive anyway. Yeah, for me at least.
Well, if you call in the morning, it's like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know how close you are. I'm pretty close to the highway. I'm blessed. I'm like it takes me like 5 minutes to get from my house onto the highway.
Yeah.
And then probably only 15 minutes worth of highway driving to the airport. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying door to door, maybe 25 minutes, but even then, shower like 20 minutes. So yeah, the earliest I would be able to get there is like 45 minutes, and that's if I fucking hustle.
Yeah.
Like,
so you're
and I don't want to fucking hustle at that hour in the fucking morning. So it's like it's probably gonna be like an hour and a half.
You're walking into a bar where like a manager opened it like half knowing what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and just hitting the ground running from there, which is pretty fucking easy because the level like. I'm sorry. It's not even a real bartending job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you get that. Like you'll get like sometimes I've like the day that I was like 2.5 hours late, I got there and everybody's like, you know what I mean? I was like, listen, I'm gonna like stabilize the situation in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
we're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's like both my jobs, like even my other job that I work at is not the airport. It's like I can literally if I have to open the bar for 11, it's like I can walk in the door at like 10:53.
Yeah.
And be like, all right,
and be ready to go. Yeah.
Like, I'm going to get ice. I'm going to turn the radio on. I'm going to turn the 3 TVs on.
Yeah.
Turn the lights on.
And off we go.
Yeah. Like, there's nothing going on. You know, cut some fruit. There's not really like a line of people banging down the door. And that's one thing I've noticed too at like, I used to work that Monday shift at the airport and people would be like, people are drinking that early? And I'd be like, oh yeah, like they're like waiting. But it's like all the other shifts except for Monday that I worked, I don't think it's like that. It's like that business class of people that are traveling on Monday.
Yeah.
That are like Like
raring to go.
Yeah, like I don't know if they just kept it like they knew they had to travel on Sunday, so they or on Monday, so their Sunday they just like stayed up all night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they just go like, oh, I'll capture my sleep on the plane, and they just keep it going. But it's like I don't have that like line of people like the zombies like waiting for you to open because everything has like the mall gates that come down. You know what I mean? So it's like you'll constantly have people like coming up like, are you guys open? And it's like, see how you're talking to me through this fucking metal
do you notice the
apparatus? Like, yeah.
Do you notice the fucking cage I'm in?
So
no.
there's like no TVs and no music on right now. Like, no, we're not fucking open. Take a lap.
Yeah.
Beat it. Go drink some of that airport tap water, you fucking heathen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're fucking like that fucking raring to go at 4 a.m., it's like, buy some fucking Scope and drink it, you fucking alcoholic.
Yeah.
Like, relax.
Dude, that was like a myth of something that happened at my senior prom. That like they had Scope in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And that somebody like emptied half of it out, pissed in it. And like everybody that used the Scope fucking gargled like half piss, half Scope.
What?
I don't know if it's true or not, but it was like an urban legend that went around our prom.
First of all, who's using Scope at a prom anyway? And second of all, like, how could you not tell that there was piss in it? Like, Scope has a very distinct flavor. Piss has another very distinct flavor. And neither one of them are like the other.
I didn't use the Scope. So.
Okay. Anyway. That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
I have I don't know if this is your fault or not, but my wife has started to watch Ancient Aliens, and she's saying all of sorts of wild shit to me about things that she's like, did you know about this? I'm like, I don't think that's true.
No, this is great. This is going to create great content for us.
Oh, my God.
Because my wife is on like my wife's on the train now, too. And she's like, did you know about this? And I'm like, yeah, I thought about killing myself about that like 6 years ago. That's why I was depressed. And I'm like, great. Now you're just going to like, now I got to save you.
Yeah, she's all freaked out that there's aliens in the ocean. Have you seen this shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the thing, man. Like because like I feel like flat Earth just boils down to like believing what the Bible says about the firmament.
Yep.
So like really like outer space isn't what you're taught to believe, and the ocean isn't what you're taught to believe either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and really, mankind's discovered like how much of the ocean floor. It's not very,
not very much. Yeah.
So, and I have a lot of like if you watch like like you just spend too much time drinking tap water and not watching Ancient Aliens, bro. It's like if you watch like do you even know what the Tic Tac video is?
No.
Yeah, so you don't know shit about this, bro. You're just commenting on this and sipping your little fucking metal water.
Yeah.
But they go into the water all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Tic Tac video. Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. The fucking you're talking about like the craft.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I know about that.
But they basically like they're operating in a world where the physics that we know don't apply to them.
Yeah.
So to me, like they're inside. They've managed to like warp gravity, and they're like inside of this bubble. You know what I mean? That's in a dimension that like we can't see.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. We're not enlightened enough as like a species to like see the next dimension. Just like we can only see like ultraviolet light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's other kinds of light. You just can't see it. Like we're not enlightened enough to see what these guys are doing.
Right.
And I saw another compelling thing. I shared it on my story today. And I was made aware of this in high school when you talked about physics, but it's like the concept of like the guy exploring the universe and he comes back and, you know, the world that he knows is gone. Because it's something to do with like the theory of relativity where like if you travel close to the speed of light for a certain amount of time, when you come back, time has still been passing. So like if you had a spacecraft that could travel like 0.99% of the speed of light and you went to like the Andromeda galaxy and you came back, now the Earth is 4 million years of time
right. Yeah,
passed.
because,
So, like, you can't...
It's like an Interstellar where they go to that planet where it's like 1 hour equals 7 years or some shit. It's because of, like, some sort of, like, gravitational, anomaly.
It's traveling at the speed of light. Like, you're not experiencing...
Time in the same...
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what I believe is happening with these things that are defying the laws of physics on this planet. Like, they're, like, in a bubble... You know what I mean? That's in this other realm or this other dimension.
Yeah.
And also, let's say there was an advanced civilization prior to us that got ruined by a flood. You're not going to convince me otherwise of it. Like there are megalithic ruins everywhere using stone blocks that are cut to precisions that we barely have the ability to cut, move, quarry. Like, we can barely do it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're supposed to believe that these fucking copper chisel banging, fucking loincloth wearing idiots fucking pulled this off.
Did it
like
20,000 years ago.
Get the fuck out of here. Like, this shit is so much older than I even think that Graham Hancock or any of the guys on the verge of this pseudoscience or whatever you want to call it are on. Like, I feel like they're not even calling a spade enough. Like, rewind the clock even further. You know what I mean? Like, this shit is so much older than we're willing to say. It might not even be Homo sapiens that built it. Like, it might be Neanderthals or Cro-Magnon or, like, rewind, keep going, you know? Like, and I say all that to say somebody who had that technology probably had the ability to travel at the speed of light like that. So who's to say that you weren't able to make that travel to these other galaxies, come back with that technology as like a core group of people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then do that. Like, if you can time travel, right? Like, why wouldn't you want to take your species? If you're going to reset the species, right? Why wouldn't you want to take us and bring us all the way back to like the habitable zone of Earth?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, eventually the sun's going to blow up. You know that there's a cycle of solar flares that happen. You know that there's a cycle of impacts that happen.
Yeah.
Right? So where is that Goldilocks zone that you can, if you can manipulate time, take a technological faring species back to and be like, okay, you have, you know, 1,000,000-year grace period where there's not going to be a crazy solar flare. There's not going to be a crazy impact. Like, you'll be able to sustain viable, stackable, enriching society for this amount of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of like what I think happened. They found that sweet spot and then they all got lazy. You know what I mean? Like, universal income took over. You didn't have to worry about all this shit. Life was made so easy for these people. They lost track of the cosmic clock, if you will, and the impact happened, and that's it. Like, it was such a terrible impact that, like, it just, all of the evidence got wiped out, except for these heavy-ass stones that even the power of mega tsunamis like you've never even been able to explain could wipe off the face of the planet.
Yeah.
Like, basically that thing is, like, you know that there used to be like an ice sheet on North America that was 2 miles thick?
Yeah, like during the Ice Age and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hit that with a fucking meteor and take all of that water and
disperse it into the fucking environment.
Yeah, instantly turn. Yeah,
atmosphere.
like, you're talking about like a worldwide sea level rise of 800 feet within like a 1,500-year time span.
Yeah.
So, like, look at our species now. Like, we all live on the coast. Everybody wants to live by the water. Like, if something like that happened, 800 feet of sea level,
yeah, I mean, like, 80% of the population of the world.
We're not 800 feet above sea level. You know what I mean? Like, if that happened today, like, you're talking about only the people in the mountains survive on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Florida's gone. Georgia's gone. The Carolinas are gone. Like, you're talking about, like, the mountain tips of the Appalachians and, like, Ohio, Western New York. Like,
well,
that's
even
like
Ohio, because that's all about around the fucking Great Lakes and shit.
Yeah.
So.
It's like, it's great. There's definitely something fucking crazy happened, dude. And, like, you can't deny the science. Like, it's not pseudoscience at this point. Like, we're not a species that's like 5,000 years old, like the Bible says. You know what I mean? Like, the beginning of society is not Mesopotamia and what's the thing that had like the stairway to heaven? What's that one? It's something with a B. Babylon. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's not it. Like, that's not the beginning. Like, that's just like a restructuring of.
I'm not saying, I'm not saying anything about like these like theories. Like, to me, it's like, I mean, all that sounds like very viable. To where people lose me though is when they like take it like a step too far, because I feel like every single one of these guys on these fucking shows does the same exact thing every fucking time, where they say things like, oh, we didn't have the technology now to even make these fucking ruins and shit. Like, how did they do it 30,000 years ago? And you're like, yeah, that is true. And then they say something like, well, we have evidence of cave paintings and shit of like, whatever drawings of like, advanced beings like helping. It's like, that is kind of weird. And then though, like the next step will be like, yeah, so like obviously they're putting like, heavy metals in our chicken nuggets in order to make us like think that the lizard people don't exist. It's like, I mean, all right, man, that's like it's a bridge too far, like pull back, refine these theories before you start stretching out into those, I just feel like these guys always just take it one, like the flat earthers is the same shit. It's like they lay it out with that shit, and then they all of a sudden say some fucking crazy bullshit like, well, yeah, we live on a disc, and like the fucking earth is like a lantern that's like fucking like hovering above us and just moving around.
On
It's
a
like
dragon's tail.
yeah, it's like come on, man. Like don't fucking do that.
But
you know?
the flat earthers get a bad rap though, dude. Like hardcore flat earth, I feel I can fuck with.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hardcore flat earth just dictate, like if you buy into the fact that like most of humankind is just a race of cattle.
Yeah.
And like the 1% is like dictating what's happening. And if you can get on board with that 1% does have communication with extraterrestrials, if you want to call them that, or other species that also habitate this planet in the water, in this. So basically flat earth just says that you have access to like this disc on the earth.
Yeah.
And that there's an ice wall around it.
Well, that's just it.
And then the rest of the planet, it's still a planet. It's not saying that the Earth is flat. You just have access to like that flat part.
Yeah, but you have access to whatever part of the planet you have access to, just because going anywhere else is inhospitable to human life. Like that's how it is.
That's not what it's. It's just saying that like that the poles and Antarctica
I know, but that's what I'm
not
saying.
what they're
not
what they're presented to be.
But that's where they take it a step too far. Like I said, if you want to tell me that the 1% are controlling like the 99%, yes, I agree. If you want to tell me that there's like political machinations like being in place that like will keep, people in poverty and keep people in whatever, yes, absolutely. But just stop at the point where you tell me that like everybody who has ever worked in NASA, anybody who's ever worked in like the defense like fucking system, like anybody who's basically like left the immediate like stratosphere of the earth are all in on this cosmic like joke where they're just like, we're just going to tell people that we're living on a fucking ball when in actuality we're not. Ha ha ha. I can't believe these idiots fell for it.
Yeah, but we're not.
It's like, that's fucking stupid.
It's not
fucking
about
stupid.
Not living on a ball.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that's what it
You're
is.
still on
like,
Flat Earth 101. I'm telling you, there's a Flat Earth 102.
Well, you can keep 2, you can keep 3, you can keep all the iterations of it. If you want to start with the
No, because you're like, you can keep all this. I just want to drink my tap water and fucking be happy with my house expansion.
Yeah, I mean, just like,
I got like another 25 years to stay happy, and after that, the wheels are really gonna fall off and be in a nursing home. That's it.
There'd be too many people that would have to be involved in these fucking conspiracies for them to actually work. There just would. We only have access to a certain amount of part of the planet. All right. Well, what's stopping some fucking guy from just flying up there right now?
They try to do that, and then they get fucking
they get
turned
shot
away.
down.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just that's. I think that's probably not
there
true.
is some missing family time for you and your wife to be watching Ancient Aliens, bro. This is a solid step forward in the Touching Tips podcast.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mrs. Long really making contributions to society.
Yeah, I mean she's yeah.
You're gonna come home and there's gonna be a water filter on your sink.
She's like the last person you want to have watching this shit though. She's fucking terrified of everything. She's like, "Are aliens real?" I'm like, "I'm just a guy. I don't know. Why are you asking me?"
Isn't there some big thing on the news about that right now?
Yeah, well, that's the aliens in the ocean. Yeah,
that's what they're talking about in Congress.
Well, yeah, that's
not on just Ancient Aliens.
No, that's what I meant. That's like well, she's watching Ancient Aliens, but she's watching it now because of all these like fucking congressional hearings about fucking aliens and shit. But yeah, she's just like she's constantly like in a fucking panic, just being like, "What do they want from us?" I'm like, I don't know, man. They're aliens.
Yeah, but like, dude, at the same point, like as rejectable of a concept as like flat Earth is, right? As unbelievable as that is, like think about what your reality though is. Like, so you mean to tell me that like you live in a universe with multiple star systems, with an infinite amount of stars. You couldn't count all the fucking suns that are in the universe, right? Like every star out there is a sun.
Is another sun
that has planets going around it, that have a Goldilocks zone. You know what I mean? That could have liquid water on it. That could be the start to life. And that's only the one kind of life that we know.
Yeah.
We don't know if there could be silicone-based life. We don't know if there could be life on all, you know what I mean? Like, so to think that this is the only planet that this shit has ever gone down on.
Yeah.
And then to look at life on this planet, how diverse it is. Like, there's like microscopic organisms that live in lava vents in the depths of the ocean, right? That use some type of other respiration that we don't use. Like the diversity of life on this planet alone. And people think, oh, there's no fucking aliens, there's no other advanced beings. Like, look at the fucking universe, bro.
Yeah, there's definitely
look at what's out there.
Yeah.
Like, watch a thing about the universe. Look at how big some of these suns are. Look at the crazy shit that exists on some of these fucking other planets and stuff like that. And this is the only place that has fucking water buffalo. Like, Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely other shit going on. And we're a fucking, if you believe some of the oldest archaeological written tablets ever, we're just a fucking hybrid race of monkeys that they made to help them mine gold. That's it. And we broke containment and we don't die in floods and they just can't get rid of us. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're just this fucking, you can't get us. You know what I mean? And we're sitting here as this lower level, low functioning, hate, warmongering infused apes of a species, and we don't think that there's this other level of life out there. I just think that it just plays into like that, the agnosticism, if you will. Like,
yeah,
you know, like I think you if you don't want to believe in all of that, then it's like you just choose ignorance of being like, I'm just a little ant, and I like my little ant hill, and I like my little ant family, and I don't want to believe that fucking humans are out there stomping on us.
Oh, I mean,
I choosing not to stomp on us.
I definitely believe that there's aliens out there, and I definitely don't care. Like,
I think that they don't care.
Yeah.
Like, they look at us like you look at, like, maybe there's a few of them. They're like, what happens when you stick a stick in the ant mound? You know, like there's a few of them doing that.
Yeah.
For the most part, they got their own bills to pay.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what I mean? Like,
that was the thing that my wife woke me to the other day, where she like literally was like, do you know that they're still doing cow mutilations? And I'm like, first of all, what are you talking about? I just woke up. Like, what? You can't just start a sentence that way. She's like, the aliens, they're still doing cow mutilations. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like they like find these cows and they're like perfectly arranged and they have all their blood drawn out of them, all their organs taken out. And I'm like, yeah, all right. She's like, well, they're still doing it. I'm like, well, 40 fucking years of killing cows. It's like, haven't they collected enough data by now? You know? Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, I think there are aliens. I do. But at the same time, I think we just don't matter to them. So what difference does any of it make? Like, if they wanted to kill us, they could have killed us. Any fucking society that has the capability of traversing the fucking universe should have no problem dispatching an entire race of people in probably the blink of a fucking eye.
Yeah, but they probably have to like ruin the planet and all the natural resources to do it. So it's easier to work with us and hurt us,
right?
So you can keep extracting the gold and all the metals that you need. You know what I mean? Like,
sure, but even then, like, I don't know. I find it hard to believe that we have anything they want anyway. Like, I think that's probably what it's come down to, is if you can make it all the way across the fucking universe to the planet fucking Earth, like, you probably have enough resources to do whatever you want anyway.
How do you solve that physics paradox though? If you have the ability to travel at the speed of light, right? Inherently, no matter where you come back to from that travel, now time has progressed to a point to where everything you knew on that planet is gone.
They probably don't have a home planet at this point. They probably just keep going. You know, like, I don't know. Like, what? Maybe we're thinking of it like in like this nomadic, you know, fucking hunter-gatherer mentality that like human beings have that like doesn't apply to them.
It doesn't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So to them, it's just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm a point moving through space. Like, I don't have a home base or anything. We have a collective knowledge of how to fucking move around and not have to worry about that shit. So they just probably don't. You know, that's just it. Like, we have no idea what their fucking, you know, what their capabilities are. It's like, I feel like you can't even like pretend to know like what their intentions are. You know?
I think there's also like a piece of it too that's like I think that clearly, if you're going to believe in it, there's different races of aliens. It's not just one kind of other alien.
We all know the bad ones too.
Yeah.
Just saying. Yeah.
The ones that serenade your mom on a horseback.
You know, they steal your shit.
Yeah.
You know, they come to your cows, they mutilate them.
Well, no, what I was going to say, though, is like there's people that get abducted. They have stories of like, like they fucking stuck something up my ass and I came harder than I've ever come.
Yeah.
And they took my cum.
Yeah.
So it's like, is this just, does it play into this like advanced earth-dwelling species that does have the ability to time travel? And now it's like they've been living in this thing for so long that they're like, because think about like.
Do you think they're doing it just to fuck with us at this point? Like, just like,
no, like I think they
see if we shove this thing in his butt, it'll come.
No, I think they need the genes. Like, they need the bioengineering.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they must have solved that problem millennia ago.
I don't think you can escape that, because I think you go into space, right, and your it's been demonstrated that your muscles go into atrophy.
Our muscles. Again,
yeah.
we're assuming these
But
are
I'm saying-
carbon-based fucking
I'm
creatures.
saying this is the one rabbit hole where I'm saying these are these are a much more evolved Homo sapien,
Yep.
right? These are Homo sapiens that have evolved from this planet. They still want to stay on this planet.
Okay.
And basically they're like time traveling back to be like, this is when we had strong genes. We need some of this cum. You know what I mean? We got to fucking knock some ladies up with like, it'd be like,
Gotcha. Yeah.
like we got to go back and get like some Neanderthal DNA to make like fucking stronger bros nowadays. You know what I mean? Like,
Gotcha.
that's what I'm saying. I think, like, because why else are they making these dudes come? You know? Like, what? That they're just fucking with them.
Yeah.
To your point, you know?
You know what? This is the agenda, man. They're just trying to make you gay, Rye.
They're like, no, they're like, really? Like, they just dropped you off. You're not missing, like, anything from the story. You're like, well, I don't
Just
wanna,
butt stuff.
I don't want
That's
to
it.
tell you about the part where the whole front of my pants was full of ejaculate because they stuck a weird thing in my bum. I feel like that kind of discredits my alien story. Like, well, I woke up with a fucking...
Oh, man.
I woke up with a full frontal load of ejaculate stuck to my pants.
Do you think those dudes, like, ever can, like, do you think they've just reached the mountaintop at that point? Like, they're just like, I guess sex for me is over.
Like a lady gives them head and they're like,
I don't care. Yeah.
I don't care about this.
It's like, do you have one of those devices to shove in my ass?
You've never blown a load in your pants while in near space orbit.
Yeah.
Near Earth orbit.
0G.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway.
I don't even know if that alien was a lady.
Well, yeah. I mean, it raises a lot of questions for sure about your sexuality.
Her waist looked like a Barbie doll. I think that was also another conspiracy theory that like a lot of the abductees are like of a certain Aryan type.
So it's like it's a white supremacist thing with
Well,
aliens?
there's a thing like it's some other operation.
That's true. You don't see too many black dudes getting abducted by aliens.
I don't know.
Maybe it's a percentage thing, though. You know, maybe there's more white guys, so maybe that's just kind of, you know.
Ties into the Aryan thing.
Yeah, maybe it's just a lot of white guys who are the ones that are living out in the fucking sticks, you know?
I mean, you know, like, how about the conspiracy about how
Can't exactly be rolling around Harlem taking people, you know?
Like, World War II was more of a treaty. Right? Like, the sides, like, Hitler didn't really die. They let the high-ranking Nazis either go run NASA or move to Argentina.
Okay.
Right?
I feel like right off the bat, you're using declarative sentences, so Hitler's dead, but go on. Yeah.
He didn't die the way that he's dead. But he lived his life out in Argentina, according to this conspiracy that I'm blessing you with.
Okay.
Right? They moved all the Nazis to Argentina.
Yeah.
There's a clear German representation in Argentina to this day.
Yeah.
To this day.
Yeah, what does that have to do with aliens, though?
Because during World War II, they both the Axis and the Allies had ridiculous explorations to Antarctica. And the story behind this is that they found like an alien archaeological site.
Yeah.
Or they found like an archaeological site that had like high technology to it. So basically that's what it was. Like the guys in the military that found this power, now they have one up on the world.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the breakaway military that's the birth of the breakaway military industrial complex shit. Right.
Yeah.
It's like these guys are both up there. They're both like the highly skilled, tactical, can go explore, can live with themselves, right?
Yeah.
They're self-contained units. They go up there, they find this archaeological site, and they say, holy shit, we have technology that can change the world. Like, are we going to bring this back to fucking Eisenhower or whoever the fuck it is?
Yeah.
Or are we just going to kind of do that Roman thing where we break off as our own unit? You know what I mean? And now we're the ones with the power. We're the ones that control shit. They turned on like a fucking Stargate or some shit. And now you're talking with the aliens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now you're the ones negotiating with them. It's not like the president and stuff like that. It's like these military guys that have sieged power and developed this relationship with the extraterrestrials. And it's like they made more of a behind the scenes treaty. You know what I mean? And they kind of let the media and everything played, oh, Hitler died, we won, da-da-da, all this shit. And it was more like, okay, like, here's a way to continue hurting these people. You know what I mean? Like, we're the breakaway civilization now with all the military might, with all the world-changing technology. And it's like, that's when, like, microwave ovens come out. That's when, like, the TV, cable TV, like, you start finding all these things that, like, numb the masses and just turn them into cattle.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hate it. You hate all of this.
I mean, it's just when you start talking like in like, you know, actual like linear like storylines, it's like, I mean, I don't know.
If you let me talk long enough, I will link all of these conspiracy theories together for you.
Yeah, all right. It's like your personal Lord of the Rings, you know? It's like a fucking
really.
saga.
It's just like what I've been like what I've been fucking it's the content that I've been taking in.
Yeah, I'm just saying these are. I would watch that movie. It sounds like a very interesting movie, but I have trouble believing anything like that is just like kind of somebody like putting together a story. You know.
Well, I'll lay this on you, right? I feel like
where's the smoking gun is what I'm saying. Like where's the document that says like, hey, X, Y, and Z general.
There's like a ton of fucking documents about it, bro. You just
about fucking the Stargate.
No. I'm saying like I'm not saying they turned on a star. I have no. I'm making up like a sort of situation where they found something, they turned it on, and now they have contact with these guys. I don't know how they got in contact with them, but I do believe that there is contact and like interstellar trade of technology and shit like that going on.
Yeah. I find that hard to believe, though, just from the standpoint of like, what would we have to offer them? Just come. That's all we got.
Yes.
Just buckets of
valuable resource.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Yo, have you ever, you don't have
it's so valuable it ends up in the fucking sinks of Americans across the country, you know?
Yeah, that's another thing about tap water. Like, are you getting all of the cum out of there? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Pass it through another filter, please.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's a good place to end it. I gotta go.
Yeah. Pass your fucking tap water through the cum filter. Episode fucking 26 or something like that. 25.
Aliens trying to make Ryan gay.
Too late. See ya.
Later, guys.